Alright, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Makrakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto the Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. It's going to be a show through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. I love wanting you brothers to be edified. I'm not saying it's going to be quick, because there's a lot of information coming out in this particular video on the show. And a lot of it has to do with everything that we've been saying. And it even opens up your eyes to see things for what it is. A lot of times, we have a vague idea to the extent of how things is going to go down. Because we prophesied in part. All right. But we know it's going to happen. We know certain events is going to take place that's going to change men, women, and children's lives forever. But the things that they were saying in this particular video is not only going to change the lives of men and women forever. It's going to be all out slaughter. Alright? This proves that we are truly in the last days, man. We are truly sitting in the last days, because everything that people are familiar with or accustomed with is soon to be turned against you. I got a couple of scriptures before I bring it out. There's a lot to this, man. It's a lot to this. Ezekiel 21:9. It says, "Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord. Say, a sword is sharpened, is also furbished. Who is that sword? That sword is, let's go to it real quick. Psalms 17:13. It says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from the men of the world which have their portion in this life." So the men of the world that have the portion of this life, who controls the world? Let's go to that. Job 9:24 says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right, and when it means by hand, it means the power, the rulership is given into the hand of the wicked. All right, and here's another clue. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? If he's not the one that's saying that he is a God, that God looks like him, God doesn't exist, but if he does exist, he looks like him. Or you have AI technologies drawing out how they look, and they look exactly like him. I don't know what else is to be said. All right, what else is to be said? Going back to Ezekiel 9:21, and it says, Ezekiel 21:9. The Son of Man prophesied and say, thus saith the Lord. Say, a sword. So we established what that sword is. It's men. All right, men that's given talent to progress their technology to make their sword more deadlier than what it is. All right, a sword could be a sword. A sword could be a knife, a gun. All right, it could be pestilence. It could be anything that is desired to kill. But the key thing is that it is sharpened, meaning it's going to. A dull sword doesn't cut through, but a sharp sword cuts through anything. And also furbish. Look up the word furbish. Is marat. To bear, polish, make smooth, or bold, or bare. All right. So this sword is being polished, is being bare. But here's a key thing. It says permanent root, polish, implications of bold, the bold head. That should not talk about the glen, the shoulder also sharpened, bright, furbish. All right, have his hair fallen off, peeled, plucked off. So when a sword is truly sharpened, it glitters. All right, meaning the light reflects on it. It could blind you. That's how sharp it is. Okay. So what's some of this man's sharpness? Some of this man's sharpness is the weapons that he bear. All right. the Iron Man suits. All right, the iRobot looking things that they have. The dogs. They have RPGs on it. They have lasers on it. You got concentrated light, which is lasers. It says it's sharpened to make a sword slaughter. It's furbished that it may glitter, which I said that glitter means to sharpen. All right. Lightning flash. All right. It says that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? So, knowing that these times that we in is going to be volatile, dangerous, knowing that it's evil times coming, great judgment is coming, knowing that the Lord's weapon of choice is the so-called white man, Esau, all right, should you then make mirth? Should we go out there party, have a good time? Oh, the end of the world. Should we go out there act a fool? Or should you be alert? Because pain doesn't last forever. But when pain comes, you forget about the great joy that you had. And that's what this world's coming to. They come into a screeching halt. All right? This world's coming into a screeching halt. These people, men and women, this is probably like your last summer of being immature retards, doing whatever your heart desires. Because this is it. This video I'm about to show, I don't know if I'm gonna play the whole thing. It's gonna take a while, but this video I'm about to show, it's gonna say a lot. Revelations 12:12 to the fullest. This is not a time for joking. It's not a time for playing games. This is time to prepare yourself. So let me play this video. I'll get some more scriptures later. All right. This is one hell of it. And here it is. WEF is building the world's biggest army to take away your rights. So when I saw this video, I was like, this is interesting. If you don't know what the WEF is, the World Economic Forum. All right. So let me let them say what they got to say. This commercial
very closely here on Redacted. On this show, the movements of the World Economic Forum. Become fascinated with them because what maybe started out sort of sounding like conspiracy theories around the Great Reset, or all of the craziness that we've heard from the World Economic Forum over the past couple of years. It's all true, and it's all written on their website, and it all is now put into place and in action. We're watching farmer revolts across the world. We're seeing uprisings thanks to what the World Economic Forum is putting in place. We've seen mandates.
He said uprisings, right? I gotta bring this scripture out because he's saying everything that they were saying is true, right? Showing you that once again, who's that weapon? Who's that sword? 2 Ezra 9 and to the point. It says, and he answered me, then said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be earthquakes and uproars of the people, that's what he was saying, right? But that's what they predicted was going to happen. Because the Lord is using this man on the left-hand side to bring the pain. All right? To bring the unadulterated, pure pain like you've never seen before. They plotted this thing out perfectly. Which is not them that's doing it. That's the Lord's doing. He's using them to do it. See, the Lord's been visiting. That's the thing that you people fail to understand. Yahweh Bashem Yahshua has been visiting this godforsaken place. All right? He's always been in the midst of it. It's just that you never seen it. But the pain that you're about to see is the wrath of the Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. This is why the people on the earth is bugging out. Like, what's going on? So let me go back to the video. Like I said, this is good. I don't know if I can play all 20, but... and it is what
place. We've seen mandates, we've seen lockdowns. So get the idea of conspiracy theory out of your head. It's all happening. Well, the Wall Street Journal has a very interesting question, which falls right in line with the World Economic Forum's new mission. And this question by the Wall Street Journal is this: why does the IRS need guns? It's a great question. Notice the byline of the story. The article was from 2016. That's 6 years ago. And at the time the Wall Street Journal wrote this and pointed at under the Obama administration, the number of non-Defense Department federal officers authorized to make arrests and carry firearms at the time was 200,000. This is 2016. 200,000.
And that's Esau in the left-hand side. All right, that's why you call it predictive programming. So before Biden signed that to law to hire what I believe is 90,000, maybe more, I'm not too sure, because it was 87,000 and it became 90. But it's going up. New agents, okay, they've been complaining about that. But check this is, man.
Exceeds the number of U.S. Marines at 182,000.
So in case you didn't hear what he said, because I interrupted, he said there's that's more guns than more guns that the IRS have than the Marines. So when it comes to arming civilians or arming federal agents, they're gonna be more armed than the actual military that the United States have. I wonder what they're going to do.
Just let that sink in.
Wait, the number of U.S. Marines total, or the number of U.S.
Yes.
Marines who also carry guns?
Well, every U.S. Marine is
Right, I'm just saying.
U.S. Marines.
Okay.
So the number of federal officers authorized to make arrests and carry firearms was 200,000. Now exceeds the number of U.S. Marines at 182,000. Even then, in 2016, 6 years ago. That was 6 years ago. Times have changed, and it's gotten actually much, much worse. By 2016, the number of federal officers with arrest and firearm authority has tripled since 1996. Do you see where we're going with this?
Yes.
Tripling. Again, this was 6 years ago. And today, in 2022, you're probably not surprised to learn that it's gotten much, much worse. In fact, the same time they're working very hard to take away your rights, to take away your ability to arm yourself, right? So they're working overtime on that side, while at the same time arming as many federal officers and agents as they can in agency after agency after agency. Democrats just expanded the number of IRS agents by 87,000. That was part of the Inflation Reduction Bill. Mm-hmm. So tell me how 87,000 armed IRS agents actually reduces the cost of groceries or gas.
Clayton, that's what, like, you need 87,000 new reps or agents to go after the rich, because there's so many rich people, like billionaires and stuff. You're going to have to be sending 20,000 agents to one billionaire's house in order to get an accurate accounting. Yeah, exactly.
Just to find him.
I mean, it really, again, if we go back to the definition of inflation, is too much money chasing after too few goods. And then you think about IRS agents taking money away from people, right, and putting it into the government's coffers, that equation does not change. The same amount of money exists,
right,
chasing after too few goods.
Well,
I can't work this out.
No, and if they're printing more of that money, it's not going to you. It's going to Wall Street.
Right.
It's going to lobbyists.
There
It's
has
not
to
going
be more
bankers.
goods created here,
Right.
to reduce inflation.
They sent me. Sorry, but they sent me $1,600. What are you talking about? I got plenty.
Who did? The IRS?
And again, and they vowed they're not going to come after anybody that makes less than $400,000. So I don't know why everybody's freaking out. Like, they said that like, if you make less than $400, you're completely safe. They're not going to start, tracking your Venmo transactions or anything.
Right.
Of course not.
Yes, they are. If you make
right.
less than $400,000 a year, President Biden told us, right? They're not going to come after you. That's turned out to be total horseshit. And when Senator Joe Manchin was asked just the other day who was the swing vote in all of this to make this happen, what does this actually do to reduce inflation? He said, it doesn't. It doesn't. So right there, this was all a boondoggle of $700 billion, right? It was meant to expand the size of government, print more money, increase the number of IRS agents who are armed to come after you. Again, goes back to the World Economic Forum's plan to consolidate power, to take away your property rights. You will own nothing by the year 2030, which is their plan. They don't want you to own anything. They don't want you to have personal property. Why are all these billionaires and the consolidation buying up all of the farmland across the United States and the world? I mean, it's right there in their agenda. So
he's talking about the IRS. I'm gonna give that a shot. So I'm gonna fast forward that because he's gonna show the video that we all seen already. But this is not the best part about it. So there's a video. Boom, boom, boom. They training them to come in. And here comes a commercial. That's how it goes in YouTube now. Oh crap.
State was selected for one of them. 31 accounting students and those studying
That's a little bit of computer work. But it's also great if you want to go out and issue search warrants and break into people's homes.
I mean, it does make the job more exciting. So recall that Commissioner Charles Reddick
Jobs right now to make ends meet, and she's a waitress, and maybe, just maybe, so she makes $2.17 an hour as a waitress, and she relies on tips. Maybe there's an accounting error that I can go arrest her for.
Well, the thing is, as a college.
So basically, he's saying how these IRS agents will be empowered. So yeah, like I said, this is what we all know by now. But this is not the best part about this.
Kids, their brains, like, you can convince them that they're doing the right thing. Like, you can convince them, hey, these are just people that aren't paying their taxes.
The college is not of higher learning; it's just higher stupidity. Like he's basically saying that you could brainwash people, whatever you want to do, that go to college, because they're trying to get a degree. And this reminds me of, what was it? Damn it, I forgot the name of it. Well, Elliot Ness and all that crap, the prohibition, when America illegalized liquor, was come to find out and went back to the Rockefellers. All right, trying to make alcohol bad because people was using alcohol to start up their vehicles, which was gonna put them out of business. So the propaganda and all the prohibition was pretty much them lobbying to go after people that's drinking, which is stupid. And how many lives were taken from that thing? But let me get to the point, because
it's boring to
Who are they going after?
Unless they're just backup. But I don't know if you're getting into this in this story, but there was a story that I read where a guy was taken out of his house at like 6 o'clock in the morning. They went upstairs, gathered his kids, took them all outside, put them on the front lawn, ransacked his house. The whole time he's asking, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And finally they came out asking him where this woman is. And he said that was his ex-wife. She didn't live there. And then they admitted they were the Department of Education and she hadn't paid her loans.
What?
So it's like, yes, the Department.
Now it gets interesting. Let me see if I can rewind it. So now we're starting to hear the other agencies being on.
Right, that's my question. Who the hell are they fighting? Who are they going after?
If you want to keep people on your staff.
Yeah, here's an idea. Why don't you take care of veterans?
No, that's not
Why don't you,
fun.
hey, all those veterans, specialized images, because that's one of the big stories. But how about the Veterans Affairs? What the hell?
So now you went from the IRS to the VA. All right, and check out what he's saying. Hey, prepare for some suffering, man. Everything that you believed is coming at you. It's coming at you, and they arming themselves. Every government agency, according to this particular thing, is arming themselves. They disarming the citizens, but they arming up the governments. All right.
Look at this. Look at your screen. The Veteran Affairs Administration, the VA, has purchased 11 million rounds of ammunition equivalent to 2,800 rounds for each of their officers, along with camouflage uniforms, riot helmets and shields, specialized image enhancement devices, and tactical lighting for the Veterans Affairs? What the hell? How about
Again,
this? Here's an idea.
it's
What-
boring to take care of veterans. If you want to keep people on your staff,
Yeah, here's an idea. Why don't you take care of veterans?
no, that's
Why
not
don't you,
fun.
hey, you know all those veterans that were
Well, they are
clamoring to
gonna
get
take care of
clamoring to get like coverage because of burn pits in Afghanistan and Iraq? Maybe you could help those people instead of fighting about it. You know, there's an idea. Maybe that's where some of this funding can go towards.
Who are
I
they
don't know if you're going
fighting
to get
though?
into it.
Right,
that's
that's my
and
question.
that's
Who the
another
hell are they
thing.
fighting? Who are they going after?
Unless they're just backup. But I don't know if you're getting into this in this story, but there was a story that I read where a guy was taken out of his house at like 6 o'clock in the morning. They went upstairs, gathered his kids, took them all outside, put them on the front lawn, ransacked his house. The whole time he's asking, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And finally they came out asking him where this woman is. And he said that was his ex-wife. She didn't live there. And then they admitted they were the Department of Education and she hadn't paid her loans.
What?
So it's like, yes, the Department of Education. So I was wondering if that's on your list too.
It's not even on my
because-
list. I ran out of time. I ran out of room on my list because I didn't. So the Department of Education is now arresting people. No, they're not even on my list, but just, hey, add them to the list. Here's more, though. Department of Homeland Security is on my list. The Department of Health and HHS, Department of Health and Human Services. I chose the wrong graphic there. Anyway, they according to 4 million rounds of ammunition, in addition to 1,300 guns, including 5 submachine guns, 189 automatic firearms for its Office of Inspector General. Social Security, that's on my list, because you know all those Social Security, like my mom, right? You got to go after these people. You got to go after these people. According to an in-depth report on the militarization of the executive agencies, the Social Security Administration secured 800,000 rounds of ammunition for their special agents, as well as armor and guns. Yes, the Social Security Administration needs armor.
Well,
The EPA needs armor too. The Environmental Protection Agency owns 600 guns. And now the Smithsonian, see that picture on your screen I chose of the Smithsonian Institution in Washington? When you go to look at like the natural, you can see the big elephant, you can see airplanes and stuff like that. And the NASA lunar modules and stuff.
When you said big elephant, I thought you were talking about John Dillinger, but
no, that's one. You can see him there too, right? You can see
the original
but look at the,
glass slippers from
Yes.
Dorothy.
The Environmental Protection Agency owns 600 guns, and the Smithsonian now employs 620 armed special agents. So what? They're going to go after Nicolas Cage in case he comes and steals the Declaration of Independence again?
Perhaps.
Or something? Like,
Well,
what?
they do want to prevent that.
So 620. But
that's not in the Smithsonian.
Every agency now has armed guards. Every one of them. And they're taking your rights away, by the way. That's just the United States. That's just the U.S. What about the unelected World Economic Forum peeps? Yes, the same ones that just last week said we should start microchipping our children. Yeah, they said that. Like we do with our dogs, so we can track them down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they want to be able to do that. So the same World Economic Forum that wants to...
Here comes the pain, baby. Here comes the pain. So the shit is about to hit the fan. Shit is about to get mad real, bro. Alright? Shit is about to get mad real. And that's what it's perfect. It makes perfect sense because the scripture I'm about to bring out, it makes perfect sense why they're going to come the way they're going to come. See, it's not just because of the National Defense Authorization Act, which is the NDAA Act that Obama signed, that stated that any man, woman, it could be deemed a terrorist in the United States. It's not just because of that. When they arrest you, all your property is going to be taken from you. Who are those properties going to go to? Go right back to the IRS. And you owe from the year 2016. They can audit you. They can lock you up. Why you think having all these concentration camps? It's just not because of medical. It's because they could arrest you. All right. You owe them $1, they'll take it from you. You have anything of possession of any value, they'll come and take it from you. This is all leading to that final thing. And this is why the guy was bringing up this heavy point, showing you that we in the last days, man. And the last but not least, the most important prophecy of them all.
Chip your children, recently featured an interview with Melissa Fleming. So the World Economic Forum had Melissa on. She heads up global communication for the United Nations. And she announced a new recruitment of information volunteers. You can call them, I call them information warriors, to make sure that you know that misinformation is different from the truth.
So now they're going, especially after all that, arming themselves, and now they're going for the truth. Shit's about to get ugly, man. Shit is about to get real ugly. This devil has everything locked, stocked, and barreled, and he didn't even have to do much. Everything was in place. It was just all about signing bills and empowering certain things. That's why all those shootings, everybody hates guns and everything like that. Take the guns from the citizens, and these are the people that they empower. I believe there's a saying in the world: two things you cannot escape, death and taxes, which is oddly ridiculous to even put that in the same category. And the IRS is an illegal, period. So they empowered the IRS, the EPA, which is Environmental Protection Agency, which was established, I believe, in 1972. If I'm not mistaken, Nixon. That's when pretty much America's for sale. Because when you look up the history of that, America had all the gold for the world, and they wanted, I believe it was France that wanted their gold back, and they couldn't give them back the gold because you know who took it. So they created the EPA and pretty much start selling places in America to the foreign countries. Okay? So all these agencies, from the VA, all of it, every last one of it, is against the citizens, man. And don't forget about FEMA. Oh, how can we forget about FEMA? Everything's in place, all right? Everything's in place. Either you're gonna go medically into these concentration camps, or you might not pay your taxes, or anything and everything. They're going to come after people.
Is different from the truth. The truth as the WEF sees it. So Melissa said, quote, in this interview at the World Economic Forum, so far we've recruited 110,000 information volunteers. And we equip these information volunteers with a kind of knowledge about how misinformation spreads. And we ask them to serve as kind of digital.
It says in Revelations 20:7, was it 27? That's a good one in 2012, that he deceiveth the whole world. His mastery of deception is coming out. Now he has to enforce it. See, this is why I'm going to quote him, but I'm going to still get it. Revelations 12:12 speaks of he's coming down having great wrath, because he have but a short time. Because the jig is up. The world sees you for what it is. Ever since the prophets came about and said who you are and they made it public, you've been losing sleep and you've been losing power. So now you're trying everything in the means necessary to go to war with. All right, which goes back to like Revelation 6:4. All right, the red horse. He took peace from the earth. And what's the opposite of peace? Once you take peace, there's nothing but war. So this man is going to be at war with everything, everyone. His citizens, the taxpayers, the people that volunteered, the people that didn't volunteer. He's going to war with everything. Everything that moves. All right?
First responders in those spaces where misinformation travels.
To triage, right?
Yeah.
You're sharing misinformation, so let's get a first responder in there to
So let's send one of our
triage that.
let's send one of our WEF first responders in there to stop this. This is the same World Economic Forum, by the way, that continues to push Europe to form its own army. Mm-hmm. What could possibly go wrong? Look at this. and they've been doing this repeatedly. This is from 2019, but they're continuing to do this. Is Europe ready for its own army? They want, again, they do not want national boundaries. They do not want sovereign territory. They want unelected power consolidated. And so they make the...
And that goes into the book, Satan Agents Exposed. And that's exactly what they were saying. All right? They want to take away borders. Man, let me see if I can find that. I mean, I knew this was going to be not that... I knew it was going to be long. Let me get that. Took a photo of it. Man, this is spur of the Lord, man. Photo. Slovakia. Oh, man. Oh, you know what? Slovakia. I should go to my gallery. There it is. There's one of them. That's not the one. Go to the other one. It's gonna get real out here. Did I screenshot that joint? I don't think I screenshot that camera. That's what it was. Bing bong. One of these things. So this is from one of the pages of. As soon as I can find a particular one. This is a good one. Executive order. No, that's not the one. Ah, there it is. Page 149. It says the Illuminati aim creation of a new world government. And then when you look at the thing, it says by the time a member had reached the grade of Illuminati Melvin, he learned the ultimate aims of the order: abolish of all ordered government, abolish of private property, abolish of inheritance, abolish of patriotism, abolish of all religion, abolish of the family via abolish of of marriage, creation of a world government. And this is the ultimate end game. This is what they want. All right? This is what they're aiming for. So you take away borders. That's the whole thing about the U.S. borders and Mexico. And it's pretty much open. So you add that with the fact that governments around the world, and you have all these government leaders so happen to what? They so happen to resign when all these things are going on. Okay, let me see if there's another one which we've seen. This is something else. That's another lesson. So when all governments are resigning, what does that lead? That leads to what we say, this new world order. In fact, what did I just do? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, get the picture. All right. So, hey, great death and pain is coming, man. I quoted it. I'm going to keep quoting it. I'm going to bring it out. Revelations 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is coming down unto you having great wrath, because he knows that he hath but a short time. So not only does he know he has a short time, that he has to bring this up. That's why they want to speed up their 2030 agenda. And their 2030 agenda, Revelations 13 and 16, is a key, the end game for them. All right? That is their end game, their end goal. To have everybody a part of that network. All right? This shit is sinister, man. 2nd Ezra 16, to the point. 2nd Ezra 16 is 67. No, well, actually, I started 67. Behold, Yahweh himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Lord So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. And that's the advice that we must take. All right. Let's not worry about certain things that's coming. Worry about appeasing the Lord, because who's bringing this wrath to come? Yahweh, the Most High. All right, because He said these things was going to happen. Verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. So now we know it's not just talking about the military. All right, because yes, they're gonna be martial law, but now we find out there's other agencies that's in the U.S. that's coming. It's still gonna come for people. Now this whole thing about damn, what is it? They just crossed my mind. I hate when it does things like that happens. The PPE loan, Slovakia. Now I remember the whole thing about the PPE loan, and now he want to go hard on people that was fraud. That was fraud. All right, that scammed their way to get the PPE loan. Now they want to go after them and give them 10 years. But this is the same government that said once you get the PPE loan, you don't have to pay it back. So now they find an excuse to lock people up. Now you got these major cities. New York is one of them. Chicago, where pretty much the tradition system is pretty much like a turnstile, when somebody gets locked up and just get freed, no matter what the crime is done. So they're letting a lot of sickos out, but then they're gonna go after the citizens that have been paying their taxes or just missed something and all these other things. This man is a devil, man. All right. So they're gonna come by every means in the wrath of the Most High. However, agency, like I stated earlier, forgot the name of the prohibition agency, which the famous person that we all can remember is Elliot Ness and Al Capone. All right, and how many people died from that? Then when another example, not the CIA. The CIA has been in power. The FBI, how they got into power, all right, by illegal means. But there's another foreign, the DEA, ATF, and all these other different agencies came into power via tragedy and so forth. I believe DEA had gotten more funds, according to the film according to the show Narcos, because of an agent that got killed in Mexico. Now the same weed that people could smoke now freely in the cities, these major cities, were getting killed. People was getting killed for selling weed. All right. So people was getting killed for drinking liquor. People was getting killed for smoking weed. Now all that is illegal. Now they're gonna go after people because of what? They didn't pay no taxes. Oh, how can we forget one of the most important things? Well, he said about the WEF. All right, they're going after people that's supposedly giving out misinformation. Misinformation could be the guise of medical misinformation, which YouTube takes out videos, or misinformation could be about what we do, because what we say. All right, so they come in burning with wrath. So of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols. Which that's why certain people get killed in a certain day, because they sacrificing people unto their idols. But here's the point. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision, or these sellouts, these tokens, all right, and in reproach, and trod it underfoot. Because when this thing comes, they're not gonna care if you sold out, you did this for them and that. Once they establish what they've seen, the New World Order, which we are in that thing of New World Order, they will get rid of the people that don't have the power to influence anymore. Verse 70, it says, for there shall be in every place and the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. And for they shall waste and take away their goods. And how are they going to do it? By their law. Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, tells you that by their law. All right? And we seeing everything play out. Biden signed a couple bills. He's empowering the IRS. The IRS now can not only go after the rich people who has plenty of accountants. So they're going to look, oh, you're clean, sir. You're clean. You're clean. They're going to go after the little man. They're going to take your cars. They're going to take your houses if you got houses. They're going to leave you bare, okay? They're going to be having no mercy. It says, and destroying those that fear the Lord. So you're going to have all sorts of agencies coming after everybody, man. And they're coming after you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's their main purpose, their main goal. All right? That's why they're allowing certain things to happen, so that certain agencies can have more money, more funding. All right? That's how they do it. They always did this. It's the same formula. Oh, let's get rid of the prisons. All right, let's get rid of the prisons. Let's put concentration camps. If you're not going to call it that, we're going to call it by another name. All right? They find every means to hide their true agenda. But it's going to get to a point where it's going to get, they don't give a fuck what kind of agenda it is. They're going to come after everybody. And they're going to take goods from people. They're going to take everything from you. Because by their law, they just passed, they have the right to take everything. It says, verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses, sending people out in the streets. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, because the men of the Lord is going to be protected. You may lose your house, your car, which all of us are going to lose everything. It doesn't matter. But the Lord is going to put a certain type of spirit on his men to deal with whatever comes. All right? And when they come full-fledged armor, batarang, everything that you could think of to destroy the Lord's men, that's when the standard is going to be lifted. And the Lord's going to give his men spiritual powers. All right? This is what's going to happen. Now we could clearly see how it's going to happen. We thought, it was just going to be the medical thing. That's some of it. But some of it is just going to be in the different forms of any other thing, especially when it comes to taxes. Paying tributary. So you could be paying your taxes the whole entire time, always on top. When they find one mess up, they could come get you. All right? This man is coming down having great wrath, man. It says, then shall they be known whom are chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Hear, O my beloved, saith the Lord, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. And be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. So we're not supposed to be afraid, no doubt, because Yahweh Bashem Yashai is going to protect us in those times. But now we see why and how they coming. All right. So with that being said, we'll say real quick to the spirit of Yahweh. Well, it was needed to be done. So y'all brothers can see the rest of the video. Pretty much, shalom to the elected nations of Shalom.